Hi, this is, I think, the eighth session of the Site 42 playtest. It's either the eighth or the ninth. Uh, one of those two numbers. We, I believe, didn't have anything like super insane going on when we left. We were just getting ready to start No, we had just finished vulnerable moves. Virtuous moves is what I wrote them as, not vulnerable moves. Virtuous moves in the research phase here. And I believe everyone else was just going to go and interact with the various different anomalies. General Burns doesn't have any conditions. Dr. Cerulean has two, marked by Harley and the Dancer. Superintendent Arena Jarvis has Employee of the Month. And Officer Lafayette has the Fear Condition, the Darkness of Sandy. So, remind me what all everyone is doing. And also, remind yourselves. It has been a minute.
Think I'm going to Lafayette is going to this newspaper of the town to investigate about Sandy and the place that he burned.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think that one's for Red Sun or Red Thumb. Red Sun. So Officer Lafayette's going to be investigating Red Thumb. We do still have the Meat Parade, Red Thumb, and the Womb of the Mother active. We also have a good number of clues ready for all of those, in fact.
Yeah, we can probably wrap
and some not as
Meat
ready.
Parade.
There are some that are to be defined still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's quite a few clues that are left to be defined. I think, like, in terms of
that's right.
Investigating, I'm probably going to continue to investigate the womb of the mother. Because I guess that's where Gilbert lives now.
I think Superintendent Jarvis is also investigating the womb of the mother. Let me take a second and because three of the two undefined clues are mine, or two of the three undefined moves are mine. So let me take a second and think.
Yeah, no worries.
I'll fill those clues in because we absolutely could solve the Meat Parade. I think if we took a moment.
Mm-hmm. Or at least get the answer to it.
Yeah.
All right. What did we find? What was it that I was gonna? Oh, all right. So one clue for the Meat Parade was a stainless steel wok filled to the brim with liquefied Delaquest black mold and a paintbrush in it.
Damn.
Oof.
There's quite a few words I cannot spell in that, so please write that down.
Yeah, let me look up how to spell Delaquest. No, Google, that's not delinquent. Oh, geez.
They could be if you try hard enough.
I've got a gross one for the womb.
Woo! Gross womb.
It's a discarded placenta that has rings like a tree, like the age rings.
Oh
damn.
It's so chaotically with a look.
I'm trying to figure out like how that would work because like what I know about placenta is like it's kind of like a bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be the placenta, and it has all these things that we are having seen, like the Mona Lisa, the Sandy's girl. There are things that the placenta discarded, and this is trying to make us like confused, and like the ballerina. They're all
Solving the
this
question
clue-
yet.
Yeah. Okay.
No worries.
Yeah, we
Okay.
still have another clue
Yeah.
to define for
Yeah.
that.
My fault. Sorry,
Mhm.
No worries.
I got ahead. Oh, let's see.
I found out how to spell Delaquest.
Haha.
And the clue for the womb of the mother, oh, I'm trying to remember. There is I'm trying to remember the famous midwife that founded Ina May Gaskin. Okay, the final clue here is a worn copy of Ina May Gaskin's midwifery text.
Everything about that was normal until you said it's warm, and I hate that.
No, worn. Like,
Warren.
worn.
Oh, thank
I
God.
like warm better. I like warm better though. That's way better.
Oh.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
It's just always warm. I hate that.
Yeah. You know. Warm book.
Mm.
Sorry, I should have waited for you to finish taking that drink.
A warm. Mm.
Warm midwife book. Great. Good even. All right. So, yeah, we have a bunch of clues for a bunch of investigations. Which ones would you like to tackle first, or would you like to just get to investigating first? So you can still get some more if you wanted. But you've also got a whole bunch of star clues to use.
Yeah. I believe Marty has a theory.
Yeah, I had a theory in the, but I don't know. I have a theory in the, wait a minute, in the red thumb, I think.
Mm-hmm. So the
That it
question
was-
for Red Thumb is, how does A-1004 make people farm roots? Or you can also answer the optional question, how is A-1004 mutating plants?
How is A-1004 mutating plants? Oh my God. Well, my my theory is that first it's going to mutate, like we've seen the Donald Duck at the entrance of the People's Panacea, and so the people going to Ellis are.
Oh, yeah. Let me recite the clues just for everyone so we're on the same page. We have the mystery flesh pit in the alleyway by Ellis's Pantry, blood in the air. The local grocery store is not selling fruit as of late. There is a flyer for a community harvest, Sandy the face of it. A Donald Duck statue at the entrance of Peepaw's Panacea. Roots were growing beneath Lafayette's mattress. There was the scent of rain, even though it hasn't rained for days. And people going to Ellis's Pantry are all recurring customers that stop shopping elsewhere.
So I think they are going to try to I mean, very rough what I'm saying, no, but they are going. The roots are going to try to turn us in the plants are in the. We're all going to be the Swamp Thing. Very rough what I'm saying, but so if you see the transition is you see the flesh pit in the alley, you there's blood in the air, there's a sort of transition from plants to something more human, like the face of Sandy is like the first of the face of the first transition, and Donald Duck it's like wait a minute. Donald Duck is like the first test of the transition, and since I don't have like the greatest relationship with with, with the entity, they tried. I was the first to try to be converted because of my roots growing beneath, and the smell the scent of rain. It's related to the blood in the air, you know, like the two so people going to Ellis are all recurring customers shopping elsewhere. Okay, can anyone?
I have an idea to add on to that.
Okay.
So like I think that the way that it's getting people to farm the roots is because, and the reason that they stop shopping elsewhere is that they've gotten spores in them basically, and but not both physical and metaphorical spores. And I think that the strongest spore that keeps people coming back to the community harvest and to the thing is Sandy herself is a kind of like psychic spore growing that idea, like mushrooms, like fungus, like roots, into people's minds. And that is why they all come to that place, because as they've been kind of infected or they've taken in the spores in some form, as they get further and further along, they come back to Ellis's place. They come back to the community harvest. They ignore all other things because the spores are within them, not only physically but like psychically, mentally as well.
Hell yeah. So the answer then would be something like it's making people farm roots by effectively slowly transforming them into A-1004 things. But in the meantime, during that transitory stage, it's helping to propagate. Is that what we're sort of going
yeah.
with?
Right.
And
Right.
Yes. That's why they keep putting up the pictures of Sandy all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I also have a terrible thought, because like currently we're at a flat roll, so I would like having like at least a +1 on this.
Please go ahead.
I think site director Star has also been infected. Like this like can do like transfer to anyone, because like I think we can tell like people are farming roots because like the roots start to grow from the people themselves as well. So site director Star's eyes glazing over momentarily and roots spreading from the bottom of his feet, and then retracting. That's a sort of a sign of like the infection.
Totally.
All right, that's a +1. Marty, you made the result, the bulk of that theory. Would you like to roll 2d6 +1?
Okay. Here we go. So I have 5 or higher, right?
7 or higher.
7 or higher is what you're after, yeah.
8, 9. Sorry, 9.
Yes.
Woo!
Yeah.
All right.
Oof. I was really scared.
On a 7 and 9, the keeper will add an unwanted complication to the answer, and or pursuing the opportunity will be more dangerous. I think that the complication is that site director Star doesn't know he's infected.
Oh no.
It would be a pleasure for me to kill him. Yeah, right. I'm having
If you want, y'all can keep that, or you can all file paperwork to bump up that answer. I will remind you that the incident report for Red Thumb, both of them haven't been used yet. So 2 of you could technically take sow and reap and then the other two could mark some of their own personal paperwork, and you could get up to a 10 plus if you wanted.
Okay. I forgot they're for that one specifically. That's
I can
tempting now.
file paperwork, and I mean, can I go one? I got 9. If I file paperwork, it becomes a 10, right?
If you all
Or-
file paperwork, yeah.
Yeah, we all have
Oh,
to do it.
okay. If we all file paperwork, okay.
Yeah, and this
I
particular
file paperwork. I don't know if
yeah,
whatever.
I'm good with filing my own paperwork. So like if other people want to file the assignments particular paperwork, that's cool.
I'll do.
Yeah, me
I'm fine doing either so or reap.
Want to do so?
All right. Well, I mean, we all have to do them anyway.
I guess that's.
so-
I guess yeah. Actually, yeah. I guess
Yeah. So I'll mark reap if you want to mark so.
okay.
if it's okay with everyone.
Yeah. All right. So you do also need to include a fix for this infection in accordance with the opportunity. So it allows you to resolve the investigation by writing and testing a containment procedure based on the answer, other information learned during their investigations. The procedure must include a fix for the A-1004 influence, after which Sun will deploy Mandela bacterium and the fix to those affected. So keep that in mind for when you want to go and resolve that later in the testing phase, as I'm sure you will want to. Because you don't have to write the procedure now. You can write it as you're doing the testing phase, since it'll probably be a little bit easier once you're up and in it. And until it is finished, you can also still answer the optional question until it's resolved. Right. So, and reap, in fact.
Yeah.
So those are both getting marked, and Officer Lafayette and Gilbert Burns are marking some of their personal paperwork, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Do we want to have those now, or do you all need to think about the prompts a little bit? I'll copy and paste so and reap into the chat here.
I have mine now, if that's all right. Because I've been particularly very excited. Technically, they're all sort of tied together. So and Reap have the obvious tie, but narrate a flashback to when you decide to dedicate your life to the anomalous. I think we see sort of a scene of a sort of dingy living room. Like there's clutter on the floor, lots of just wires, all about pipes, like ingrained and attached to the walls that just emitting steam every so often. And we see a very young General Burns, just a kid, playing with like a little toy truck and going as it driving over the wires and whatnot. I think he stops for a moment, looks around, and just goes, "Hello? Who's there?" And I think just from the corner of the vision, never quite stepping into it, is a voice. "Hello there. I'm not sure where I am. Could you help?" And the kid, General Burns, goes, "Oh, yes, I can help. Oh, you must be what Mommy calls imaginary friends, aren't you?" I think we see reaching into frame a hand. Say, I guess that would be logical. years later, I think we see sort of just this scene of like of an accident, car wreck down the road. It's raining, it's dark, it's a mess, and we see Gilbert trying to drag himself from the wreckage. He goes, "Help me, please. Is anyone there? Please help." And then we see, sort of on the edge of the vision, these hands again. I'm sorry, I don't know how to help. I've watched you, but I don't think I can help here. I could help. It would be just in case. Your family won't be abandoned, no matter what happens. And we see Gilbert Burns just go very still. And as the camera fades out, we see this sort of shadowy figure transform into General Burns and then walk away.
Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah. That's why he's so fucked up.
Oh my gosh.
I've been holding on that for like several sessions now.
I love it. Does anyone else want to do theirs? All right.
So the paperwork says here, narrate a flashback. I have one mark. Narrate a flashback to your first job in the security industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we see the camera opens up and we see Lafayette and shrinks on surgery. And he's like in the total Freudian way, in sitting, and you don't see the shrink, right? And he says, "Well, Doc, you know, I don't know if this job is for me. I'm just doing it, you know, for my brother, because they recruited me, and I don't know if it's my line of duty. I've left the woman I've loved. I don't know if she's pregnant. She wouldn't tell me. But I think I saw like a test, and it's positive. It's like 10 years ago or more, like, you know. And he says, well, he turns to the shrink and says, well, they told me that I was going to find my brother. You look exactly like him, but you're not. And he says, and the shrink goes like, it's transforming like Clayface and dissolving. And then two guys enter the room, and it's, you did it okay. Now you got more job to do.
Hell yeah. We love people that aren't people. In this house, we respect non-people people. All right. So, if no one's ready to do the sow and or reap quite yet, that's all right. We can move on to the rest of the phase. Do you want to answer more questions while we're here? While we're in the middle of answering questions, you want to do more of that?
You can probably do the meat parade. We have 7 for 6, so.
Mhm.
You can also answer the next question for the womb of the mother as well.
Yeah. Oh my god. How can we control this behavior with minimal harm to A-1004? I know
Oh.
what this thing is called.
Oh, I had an idea for this. I'm trying to remember it now. No, I do remember it now. Hang on. So I think the way that we control this behavior, because we have already clearly mapped out like the patterns of the parade and everything. That's something that we have already used, and I think that as we found this, this black mold in the stainless steel walk and with the paintbrush next to it, and not only that, with Heartboil's movements going to several wooded areas, with the abandoned buildings, with the mold, it's clear that either he or someone else has been like using the mold to paint messages and do things like that. I feel like we also saw that as like the Mona Lisa. The images. I think if we get images painted in mold and blood and rot, that kind of stuff, all of those things we could and we could make it so that the meat parade is continuing on all of the normal mapped paths that it needs to continue on, but we do it underground and we keep them there by using the mold and everything to paint the images and paint the pathway throughout it, so that they can be constantly, the meat parade can be ongoing. It can be doing whatever it needs to do to sustain A-1004, and all of that without actually having to breach the surface and interact with people. And I think that that's kind of how we keep them under wraps.
All right, that counts for 4 clues, I think.
Oh, that's right.
We've got also General Burns' severed hand clutching live leeches, a ballerina figure that was stuck in one of the meat parade creatures, and the missing poster of Sandy, the girl that is in Lafayette's dreams.
I think at the very least that A-1004 is semi-aware of like humanity. And I think because previously we said that this thing is sort of a baby shower, and I think that just in particular that the meat tree is having a daughter, I think, just with like the sort of traditional feminine stuff that it keeps on picking up, such as the ballerina finger. I think it's just being obsessed with like pictures of women in particular, so that's why it's the Mona Lisa. This is why it's Sandy.
Oh.
Right. And the ballerina is like the figure she aspires, since it's a meat parade. It could be like the dream of the conscious, of the unconscious. It's to be a ballerina, so it's transmitting this in the way it can.
Hold me closer, meaty dancer.
And
I fell in love with a meaty ballerina.
and and I know like we have like this thing going on with the womb of the mother and whatnot, but I don't think that the daughter, quote unquote, is there. I think that she is in a different dimension, which is why my hand got cut off disappeared and then came back with live leeches. It went to that sort of dimension.
Which
So-
opens a question to Lafayette. So it's Sandy, his daughter, or his imagination, or his paperwork is also a part of his imagination. It's going nuts.
Maybe the tree wants Lafayette to be the stepdad. You're not the stepdad, you're the dad that's stepdad.
Oh
my
no.
God. Oh no.
gosh.
All right. Well, that's
I thought
A +1.
Superintendent Arena Jarvis would be, but
I mean, I just had a thought. It seems clear that whatever is being born is using kind of the idea of Sandy, like, but when Sandy spoke to Lafayette, Sandy is terrified. Oh, okay, actually, never mind. I was about to be like, Sandy was like, I don't like what's happening here, but then I remembered, no, Sandy was like, I need to get out. And for a second, I was going to be like, Sandy doesn't want to be born. The mother wants Sandy to be born, but Sandy doesn't. That's not.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
So we take the meat parade underground until the daughter is ready to be born.
Oh yeah.
interesting. I like it. Who would like to roll with a +1?
Not me.
No,
I'll do it. I'll do it. All right, that's an 8.
Ooh. Excellent. As for the
8.
complication, I think
Because- Yeah.
I think
Never mind.
that the birthing of the daughter will happen as you are trying to contain it.
Whoa.
Oh,
Oh no.
yes.
Lafayette is going to shoot himself right now. He's putting the bullet in his mouth. So I got one when he's born. When I see Sandy, he's going nuts.
All right. So that is now ready to be resolved, as well as Red Thumb. Did you also want to answer the next question for the womb of the mother? The complexity 2. We have 4 clues currently: a letter of recommendation from Dartmouth, a glowing key card, a discarded placenta with age rings like a tree, and a worn, warm copy of Ina May Gaskin's classic text on midwifery, spiritual midwifery.
I don't have a good answer for that.
No, me either.
And the question being, how does the Fleshgate determine what it does and does not allow through it?
I would need like a couple of more clues. I don't know.
You
if
can
anyone
also
has
use the star clues.
Yes.
one clue.
So the star
which
clues
are-
that you have available are a postcard with Director Star's face plastered on the corner saying "Come to sunny Atlantis," an instance where Director Star was talking to Heartboil out of the corner of General Burns' eye and then immediately disappeared, and a photo of Site Director Star standing on the beach with viscous red water that shimmers.
Okay, so we know Director Star is embracing a change, right? And he doesn't know it.
Well, he does know it. That's because you guys
We got
you
like a
upped
10
it, so
plus. Yeah.
he's aware
Oh.
that he is compromised.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the letter of recommendation from Dartmouth is, could it be that it's a recommendation from him?
That would be so crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I think
And
just
would the photo then be like on that letter? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
that's one. So,
I think in addition to that, I think that the Fleshgate determines what it does and doesn't allow through it is like so it absorbs people and things, but mainly people, to kind of serve it, right? It can tell whether or not the particles that it has absorbed and created things out of, um, like it can tell whether or not those particles came from a being that had enough knowledge, enough smarts to be useful on the other side of the flesh barrier. And so I think that that's why we're seeing, you know, the letter of recommendation from Dartmouth and from with you know, an anomalous connection to someone high up in the agency who knows a lot of things, as well as, you know, obviously the one of the people that was absorbed had their own copy of spiritual midwifery and everything. So like I think it can tell if you are going to be useful, to like, as long as you have useful knowledge, it can psychically tell that that is the case. And I think that might be how it determines what goes in and what goes out.
Yeah, that's
That'll give
probably
you
why
a +2.
yeah.
And so the discarded placenta could be like of someone that couldn't pass, hadn't had the psychic abilities.
Oh.
Oh, they
no.
got turned into food for the babies. Oh, fuck.
Right.
That's so good.
All right, that's a +3. I hate to make you do it twice, but you did come up with the meat of the theory. Would you like to roll again?
Yeah, go for it.
It's a +3.
Wait, is it me or is it Lafayette?
Either one.
11. 11. I had 11.
11.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
All right.
Don't die, superintendent. Don't die, superintendent.
Interesting. All right. So you can all now go further into the womb. Congrats.
After you spend several hours studying spiritual midwifery.
Of course.
Unless otherwise you're getting turned into a placenta, baby.
Totally.
Lovely. All right. So, I think we can go ahead and take let's take a 5-minute break, and then we can come back and get to the rest of the research phase proper. Think about your responses to the sow and reap incident reports, and also what you'd like to be doing in this upcoming research phase. All right. So we've got a whole bunch of answers on the table now, which makes me very excited. Excuse me. So we have some incident reports still. If anyone has theirs ready, they're more than welcome to narrate them now, or we can get back to it at the probably closer to the end of the session.
I've got my that I can go for it.
Yes, please.
So this is going to relate back to a previous flashback. There was a time where Arena Jarvis sheltered something within their own body, within their own mind, an idea, and they don't remember exactly what the idea was, but the idea, it had its time and it left. However, something was also left behind. When you think about big spiders, like big tarantulas, they mold and they leave behind a very solid like husk that looks very much like them. Not to say that this is a spider, but the husk of the idea as it grew and shed its skin within Arena Jarvis's head is what stayed behind and festered like an infection. we see months after the fact, and Arena doesn't even really know, but they are feeling sick. There is a constant hum in the background of their thoughts, and it seems like there is a scream attempting to bubble up within them at every waking moment. And so there is this moment that because of this festering husk of the idea that they don't really know is there, the infection begins to spread and leak out of their eyes and their fingernails and their ears. It's a bad time.
Sounds like it. Does anyone else have theirs ready, or shall we continue on with the rest of our research phase?
I think I have mine ready. So, I think, hold on, let me check some safety tools real quick before I go into this. All right, I think I'm good. So I think Dr. Serlian was doing like a standard boob check for any sort of lumps and all that jazz, and found one. And so, in typical Dr. Cerulean fashion, decided to excise it herself. And when it was pulled out, it had this kind of like an absorbed twin. There was an eye and a root-like structure to it, and she couldn't just toss it away, so she had this lovely empty terrarium. And that is where her meat terrarium came from and still remains to this day.
Can't
Oh,
wait to see
God.
how Reap fucks that all up.
Oh God,
wonderful.
Reap is just going to be using that item.
Mhm.
All right. Anyone else?
Mm.
Let's continue on with our research phase then. Let's start with Superintendent Arena Jarvis and General
Oh,
Gilbert Burns.
Sorry.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
I had a scene in the department hands writes a scene in which they harvest that which was planted and harbored within them. If unlocked this incident report, I can narrate that if it's okay.
You have to do so first.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No worries. I forgot to mention that they're in order there. Anyhow, let's start with General Gilbert Burns and Superintendent Jarvis at the womb. You have just figured out how to get through the flesh gate, which is great news for you, I'm sure.
Mhm.
And all around you, as you get, I assume you've traveled back towards it and are back in
Yeah.
the general area. We don't necessarily have to go through all of it every time. You see behind that translucent membrane buddies and some of the pony things, even one of the chainsaw mouths walk up to some of these walls of the womb, and holes start manifesting in the walls. They then drop different organic materials, like a buddy is dropping in a hamburger that it found. Chainsaw mouth is regurgitating its last kill into the hole. Stuff like that. And then the holes close up and the creatures go on their way. The chainsaw mouth isn't going to be an immediate threat, but you do know that they are in there now at the very least. Because it has walked away. It didn't seem to care about you two at all.
Yeah, because we're coded to be here now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you do?
I think we've just got to explore deeper and further in. We've got to go past the flesh gate and because when we were here last time, the flesh gate began to fill with fluid, didn't it?
Yeah.
Or well, we need to pass the placental barrier and get on inside, see what's cooking, see what oh geez. I imagine we probably brought stuff to breathe underwater. Are we gonna have to scuba?
I imagine like the sort of like our suits, because like our psychic suits that we know, that we can tell what our innermost desires are. I will remind everyone of that. I imagine like it's somewhat scuba like, just to keep the meat out. So
Yeah, they're sealed at minimum. I would imagine that's it's womb PPE. You know it's gonna be kind of wet in there. You know it's gonna be wet in there.
Listen, this is standard meat womb PPE. We have basic requirements. All womb PPE has to come on.
It's in the manual, people.
I think just general birds, it's like saying like, oh yeah, it shouldn't be a problem that like our suits are sealed and whatnot, and it like keeps on saying womb PPE.
I'm trying very hard to keep my desires from psychically broadcasting, but I'm literally wearing a device that does that. So, well, I'm just gonna try and stay on task, General Burns. Oh boy! All right. What actually are you still hungry? Is that the main desire I'm getting from you?
No, in fact. It's more or less of like, oh, we're gonna learn something new. Oh yeah, Superintendent Jarvis is feeling things for me. This is exciting. Just generally pleased with the situation, like
Hungering for something else then.
yes, hungering. And just has like this sort of dumb look on his face of like just very pleased with what's going on.
Man. I think there's definitely like an emotional feedback loop going here that is just starting to I'm like, oh, I know what you're feeling. Oh, that makes me want what I want. Oh no.
Oh no.
Well then, I think we go at the same time, and I hold my hand out to hold your hand as we cross the placental barrier.
Yes, I will take your hand.
I think I would like to have the fright move here, since this is interacting very, very directly with an anomaly. Even though you are allowed to go through, there's a mental part of it. I'm certain that you're going to have to kind of overcome to get through that. You can each roll the fright move with anomalous, or I think the next appropriate attribute here would probably be willpower. So anomalous or willpower -1. What are you both afraid will happen if you fail to keep your nerve?
This is an irrational fear, because Arena Jarvis has a hard time keeping their mind on the job. But what they're really afraid of is that they're gonna end up letting go of Burns' hand and like lose this moment. Like, sure, yeah, we're in the giant, monstrous meat womb, and we're proceeding deeper in, but I mean, I just don't want to lose this chance. Sometimes you got to take every chance you get. I don't want to lose this chance.
I think like Superintendent Jarvis, I think the the mother is not a major concern of Burns. It's just more or less of being perceived, being so watched intently by Superintendent Jarvis, as well as being watched by the mother, like, and being in the suit of like feedback of like psychic sort of things. I'm afraid of what I might turn into.
Ooh.
Because I have revealed my backstory. Now I get to play with it a little bit.
All right. Here's how it's worse than that for both of you.
Oh no.
General Gilbert Burns will transform into something completely and utterly reprehensible to Superintendent Arena Jarvis, perhaps even a crowd of somethings.
Oh
no.
no.
It's a crowd of divorce lawyers.
You're both able to, fuck, my mouth. No, don't do that. Words, man.
I'm assuming that we can mark our wound PPE for advantage.
Yes, you may. Yeah, you can continue through this course of action if you want, or you can back down. You can mark your wound PPE for advantage if you wish.
I am definitely marking that for advantage. And I'm rolling with anomalous, so it's +1.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. Oh, wait.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. So that's a 3 and a 3 +1 is a 7.
I thankfully am carrying through just perfectly fine with an 11.
Hell yeah. Superintendent Jarvis, I would like you to take the condition first date nerves.
You got it.
If you hadn't given that condition, Steph, I would have recommended of just a condition called marked by General Burns.
Oh, I've given one of those before. I love letting other players mark other players as conditions. Let me tell you, it's a good time. All right. So, as you both pass through into the womb, I would like to cut over to Dr. Cerulean. What are you doing this research phase, or for the rest of this research phase?
So I truly don't remember what I was doing, so I'm just gonna change it, maybe.
That's fine.
We can still answer the optional for red thumb, correct? As long as we haven't contained it yet.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, I think I'll continue checking that out. I believe so. If I remember correctly, I was with Solongo when we found something in the alley besides the grocery store.
Correct.
Can I go down into the sewers?
You sure can.
I'm sure that'll be
Hell
fine.
yeah. It'll be great, even. A fine time. All right. I have a good idea here. As you are walking toward the nearest sort of it's going to be very funny saying this word given the context of the other investigations, toward the nearest manhole. And start, shimmying your way down into the sewer. You hear someone up on the surface, on the street, just like screaming, "Change! Change is coming! Change! Change!"
Oh boy. The least people person in the group.
You can keep going down, and I have something there for that as well. No worries.
I am an intensely curious person, however, so um, she'll pop up out of the sewer and go see where the commotion is.
All right. You see a man in a black sleeveless shirt with high top shoes and a down jacket as well. And he is just running around back and forth, specifically kind of in front of Ellis's, just shouting this over and over again incessantly. No one else seems to be paying him any attention.
So everyone thinks this is just fine, in other words. This is a normal thing.
Yeah, this is so regular.
Okay. Dr. Sterling will flag him down and be like, hello, hi.
He looks to you very like rapidly, like his neck turns and snaps and focuses his vision on you. And he squints a little bit, says, "Why are you halfway in a manhole?"
I'm doing some sewer maintenance.
Oh. All right. What do you know about what's happening? 'Cause I know plenty.
Oh, you should depends on which what you're talking about. Maybe you should explain which what you're talking about, and then I'll know how much.
Change!
Which change?
The big one. It'll
Well,
affect you. It'll affect me, my dog, your dog, if you have one. If you don't, it'll probably affect your cat.
I don't have either of those.
Then you'll get one. I bet. Probably.
Dr. Sterling would end up as a lonely cat lady. That is true. That is a factual thing.
Change is coming.
How do you know that? Do you have some proof you might offer?
I would love the research move with empathy, please.
Oh boy, I would hate to roll empathy.
Well, unfortunately, you're talking with a man.
I just need to put them in the brain machine forever. That's all I need to do.
True.
I have a -1 in empathy. I am very empathetic. Do I have disadvantage for either of my conditions?
That's a good question. No, because I didn't say so. I'll let you off this time.
Hooray! Doesn't matter. I rolled a 2.
Woo! That's what it's all about, baby. We'll get back to that. Officer
Wonderful.
Lafayette, you are also investigating Red Thumb, correct? Or were you going to go to the meat parade?
No, red thumb. Red thumb.
All right. And you're going to a newspaper.
wait.
That's right.
Wait. Can I want to go to a newspaper, but can I investigate about the let me see. Yeah, the meat parade.
Yeah, you can. There aren't any questions left to resolve for it, but you can get more like information and things like that to just help you contain it, if you would like to.
No, okay. Whatever you decide, it's okay. I'm going to the newspaper and I'm going to investigate about matriarchy.
Interesting. All right.
Because of all the clues and all the things and I would like to go to the let's see, to the microfilm. I want to see the history in the newspaper, the history of the place, and related to the power feminine figures that they had of something.
For sure.
I don't know. I'm really lost.
No, that makes perfect sense to me. I think let's have a research move here with logic. I think that makes a lot of sense.
0. I have flat, right? Yeah.
Mhm. You
Okay.
can mark something from your office if you want to get advantage.
Let's see.
If you can figure out a way to incorporate it into the scene.
Yeah. I think office, right? I use I don't have. I think what's a good offense?
That is part of your move, the best defense. You've outfitted every one of your security personnel with state-of-the-art weaponry and tactical equipment. So if you wanted to threaten them to give you microfilm, you could.
No, it's okay. It's okay. No, I can show my Casablanca alternate ending as a thing to donate or to copy to the department of the newspapers, and they'll have like this ending that no one has seen, where Bogart ends up with Ingrid Bergman.
Yeah, that could be pretty good, especially since Red Thumb is more on the island of Naples itself. It's sort of a small city. That would be news. That makes sense. Yeah, go for it. You can go ahead and roll with advantage. You're going to roll 3d6 and keep the 2 highest numbers.
I got 2, 5, 3. Okay, I got 8.
Nice.
Barely there.
We'll cut back to you in a bit. Superintendent Jarvis and General Gilbert Burns, you are now in this big tunnel full of amniotic fluid. I would love to know how you're feeling currently.
I mean, I've definitely been on worse first dates. This one's pretty good. It's like that time I went scuba diving down in the that what they call that thing, the reef, the Great Barrier Reef.
This is just like that.
I mean, it's a little different. There's a little bit different, but I like scuba diving, swimming, kind of thing. It's not my first womb PPE experience, I'll tell you that.
I'm not sure if General Burns has been on a first date ever. So like I've really nothing to compare it to besides movies that he's seen. It hasn't looked like this, but this isn't also bad. So we're having a good time. I think we're just a little bit distracted right now. We're supposed to be investigating. This is supposed to be our work, but it could be worse.
Yeah, it could. It really could.
Hey, look. It's a meet cute.
Oh, I get it. All right, so as you pass through, you notice that natural light quickly diminishes past the flesh gate, and this warm, humid air is, I imagine it's not like necessarily full. It's probably up to around like your like shoulder width or shoulder height, the fluid. It is humid and warm in here, and there is a sour tinge to the air that's being filtered in and out of your suits. And this place is enormous. It has to be over at least 200 feet tall. And you can't see the other end of it from this part, from this side. Let's paint the scene. This one is just for Superintendent Arena Jarvis and General Gilbert Burns, since they are the ones within currently. What is your first most primal memory, and why does the travel cause you to think about it?
I think my first most primal memory is it's the time it's the time I busted my head open when I was like 4 years old. I have like very, very, wishy-washy memories before that, but this one was crystal clear. I was jumping along some rocks because I had too big a backyard, and I kind of, was able to kind of just wander and jumping on some rocks, and I hit my head, and I remember looking at my hand and seeing all of the blood and trying to get back up, and I couldn't. And I'm like, I hit my head pretty hard, but there shouldn't be this much blood. And so then I had to crawl back to my house, and it was I would put my hand to my head, and then crawl and put my hand on the ground, pull myself forward, and there were bloody handprints in the grass all along the lawn. And I'm thinking of that because I'm seeing bloody handprints on the walls, but it doesn't look like they're necessarily handprints, but like the fact that there's hands pushing on the outsides of the walls, like something's in there trying to get out. Just reminded me of that. It was an intense experience, but different than this, obviously.
I
Nice.
think Superintendent Jarvis, you get the sense from General Burns that his desires have very, very, once we passed into the space, quickly have shifted into more of that primal hunger from before. But this time is a lot more intense. And I think, like, he's just a little bit in a daze because this just feels familiar. Like, he's been here before. It reminds him of his earliest memories. Eating food. Being a lot bigger than his prey. Munching. Crunching. But I think the sort of primal instinct of like having a memory, a solid like timeline was when his prey, they fought back. There was fire. It burned. It hurt. And so we had to figure out a different way to eat.
Great.
Anyway, General Burns has not let go of your hand.
Burns,
Mhm.
I'm getting some pretty heavy energy from you. You doing okay?
Yes, I think we need to be aware not to step into any of those holes that we've seen.
That is an important thing. When you're on a date, you got to mind the holes. Make sure you don't. That was damn. No, that's not what I meant. Burns. As long as you're okay. And I was a little freaked out there for a second. Actually, I'm a little freaked out first for now. Actually, but you're okay.
Yes,
All right.
I'm okay.
And you're not gonna eat me.
Why would I eat you?
That wasn't a yes or no, General Burns.
No, I don't think I'll eat you.
All right. Well, when it is, oh gosh. Let me take a breath before I say the next slide.
Oh boy.
Well, Burns, when it is time to eat me, I'll let you know.
Hmm.
Interesting.
My parents could eat me or could see me now. Gosh.
I think like General Burns is just thinking about that, just like confused, really. like, like if he eats General Jarvis, it would be tasty. But however, then General Jarvis, the Superintendent Jarvis, wouldn't be there anymore. But however, Superintendent Jarvis does want to be eaten at some points. That's most people don't want to be eaten. That's weird.
Oh no!
I can't believe General Jarvis is fucking got General. Yeah, Superintendent Jarvis is the weird one in this situation. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Burns, have you ever heard of innuendo? The answer, of course, is no. What?
Due to the previous conversation, General Burns has been using eating as a literal term.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
General Burns is familiar with the art of puns, innuendos. Not particularly good at those, but
As you are having this discussion, you both notice that there are teeny tiny little A-1004 creatures, like miniature versions of the buddies, of the pony things, and even the chainsaw mouths just kind of swimming around in the amniotic fluid.
I guess should I talk to one of them? There are a lot of them.
And I will remind that the travel continues downward for quite a bit.
like how teeny tiny, like we're talking about.
Like, you know how when you put those like grow them in water boyfriend toys in like a cup of water and they grow to fit like roughly a little bit smaller than that cup? It's sort of like that.
So I've heard of grow them in water like dinosaurs. I have never heard of a grow them in water boyfriend.
That's crazy because I have heard almost exclusively that one.
Okay. That doesn't give the approximate size, but okay, I'll believe you.
Like,
Listen.
it seems like
It's like sea monkeys.
I'm not going to make a joke, but there is a filthy joke I could have yes-anded with that Sea Monkeys reference with Grow Your Own Boyfriend.
Yeah, I am aware.
so they're like palm sized.
Yeah,
They're not like huge.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay.
Like you could pick one up and squeeze it like a squeaky toy. If it wouldn't pop, it'll probably pop.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, they're pretty small, and we haven't had a chance to have a conversation with a chainsaw mouth. What?
No.
How much damage could a teeny tiny chainsaw mouth do?
I will note that we are in sealed suits. It could pop the sealed suit.
You know what? That's probably right.
But to be fair, you also want to be eaten at some point, so
I'm gonna teach you what that means.
Hell yeah. Put that sticky milk to good use.
oh no. Wait.
Do we have Dr.
so you're
Cerulean
using-
back?
I'm here and listening. Yes.
Excellent. You got a 7?
Oh no, I got a 2.
Oh, that's right, a 2. Oh boy, good times.
I'm good at talking to people, just so good. I'm the best at it.
Incredibly so, yeah. Let's see. This guy looks at you and squints and says, "You couldn't handle the truth." And he turns away, like pouting almost, like, And at that point, you see this is a great spot to use this reaction, actually. Oh my gosh. Out of the alleyway that he's standing in front of, you see a human-sized creature with 4 legs and 2 arms slowly begin to appear from the shadows behind him. Its head reminiscent of an anglerfish, with a bulbous protrusion right between its eyes that starts emitting this soft, really gorgeous glow. Almost makes you want to go and like grab it. And this guy, his arms drop limp to his sides as he turns around, and this huge smile comes across from his face as he starts approaching. And as it does, a gaping maw vertically starts opening up inside this creature with 5 rows of razor-sharp teeth, and they begin spinning very quickly. And this guy opens his arms out as if to give it a hug, and the creature hugs him back and shovels him directly into its mouth. And, splorches and squelches also. I would like you to make the fright move, please.
I see.
What are you afraid will happen if you fail to keep your nerve here? And this is going to be, of course, with anomalous, or I think willpower -1.
Okay, so what I'm afraid is going to happen is that Dr. Cerulean's weird ass is going to be like, well, I can get close and get this bulb so I can study it later. And that's going to go very badly for her. You said willpower or anomalous?
Willpower -1 or anomalous. And it is worse than that. You'll have disadvantage on the follow-up roll to not get chainsawed.
I see. Okay. I will choose to roll with anomalous, but because I have dream logic, I will roll with logic.
Yeah.
Don't fuck me, please. That's a 10 total.
Woo. All right. Describe how you keep it together and don't get drawn further into this thing's alluring glow.
I think because Dr. Cerulean, as previously established, has glasses that are constantly pulling data readouts. And so I think it starts analyzing the bulb and she almost gets pulled in, but then starts reading the data like pure ADD, just like, oh yeah, that's there. But this is what's in front of me right now. I need to pay attention to this. So she just gets locked into like the analysis of this weird bioluminescent angler fish thingy.
Excellent. And what do you do now?
Um, I've got this open manhole.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to, can I lure, like, it's probably too big to fall all the way through. Is it enough for it to get stuck in the manhole? Like, could I potentially capture this angler being in the open manhole?
Yeah, I think so.
Lovely.
This is definitely going to be another fright move.
Oh, sorry.
Also with anomalous or physicality -1, but I imagine anomalous.
Yeah, just so I can use logic. I'm
Yeah.
also gonna go ahead and mark, because I'm gonna do something with it later anyway. I'm gonna go ahead and mark my flesh terrarium and say that's how I'm going to lure it. Like I use some of the meaty bits from my flesh terrarium to lure it over to the manhole.
Nice. Ooh,
Right, so,
I think I'm going to give you disadvantage as well here as Harley shows up in the scene and he has been looking for you. He has some questions he wants to ask, and it seems like he might get a little distracted by the bulb.
fair enough. All right, so I will roll normally. That is an 8 total. Thank God I have a +3 in logic.
All right. So right off the bat here, I think I already know what your complication is, so I'll go ahead and we'll just narrate it. I also forgot to ask what you're afraid will happen if you fail, but that's fine. We can skip it this time.
I think the obvious answer is it's going to fucking eat me.
Yeah. But it's worse than that. It eats Harley also. But in this case, it just eats Harley as your complication. You will get to unmark marked by Harley, but you also don't get to use him as your reward that you unlocked anymore. Because he's dead. He's mulch. Unless you want to file some paperwork.
I think I will. Yeah. I'm gonna file some of my resume stuff here. I'm gonna choose narrate a flashback to when a procedure, experiment, or item developed by you saved countless lives.
All right. In that case, it's a 10 plus, so you get to generate what the scene looks like.
So yeah, Dr. Imogen just lines the sewer grate with just little meat pieces, not the thing she pulled from herself, just the excess meat pieces. And because she's studied a variety of disciplines, she knows that sometimes mimicking a thing's movements is how you lure it in as well. So she starts moving like the anglerfish does, like not staring at the bulb, but like staring above it. So like it looks like she's been entranced. And as it gets over, I think it not only like the manhole is there, but like I think it's funny if it goes face first into the manhole because it wants the meat. So it's just like ass is sticking in the air now with its face buried in the manhole, stuck.
Gotta keep Gotta not say the obvious joke here.
What are you doing,
Everyone-
Steph Doctor? Is that the joke?
No, the joke is having your
Oh.
face buried in a manhole.
Oh no. I didn't think of the obvious one.
I mean, that too, I guess. Yeah, this all happens. And let's go ahead and cut over back to Officer Lafayette now. You got an 8 or a 9?
8.
All right.
8. All right.
So you're looking through the historical records of Naples, Naples Island, and as you're looking through all this, you notice that recently, as far as like as recent as in the past half of a year, there has been something of a food shortage on the island. That is your clue for Red Thumb.
Does it make them a specific kind of food or it's in...
Just in general, there's not enough food on the island. And as you're looking through all of this, you see a woman in a khaki vest with lots of pockets and zippers and a red and black plaid flannel t-shirt, as well as a utility belt, start walking up to you. She's lithe and has a muscular build, and she has a lot of like kind of built into her vest and the utility belt are all of these electrical things and gizmos that keep beeping and whirring and giving off these little readouts. And she approaches you and you immediately recognize her as one of the most wealthy women in the state, if not country.
She was in the Disney, also in the Disney Club. She was one of
no,
the
she was not.
Okay.
This, is Miriam Navarro of Navarro Personal Security Solutions.
Oh.
She approaches you and says, hello, sir. I couldn't help but notice you were looking over a couple of things here, and well, this is actually something that I've been somewhat interested in myself. Would you mind if I took a seat here next to you?
Not at all, miss. Go ahead.
Thank you kindly. Now, I'm going to jump out on a limb here and say that maybe, just maybe, you might have noticed the weird fucking plants growing everywhere, right?
I have been told lately, yeah, right. I've seen something like that, but yeah. Let's say I've seen something.
Now, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you're also looking into them, much like I am. You see, we're on the same side here, I think. I want to know what's going on here just the same as you do.
Could you be more specific?
With the plants, the meat ones.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And especially that grocery store and its connection to all of it.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. We're on the same page. Do you know a girl named Sandy by any chance?
Oh, no, I haven't met anyone by that name. At least
it takes
not in a
and
good couple
you have-
decades.
How many? You've lived here all your life?
Oh, no, I live, well, I have a couple different properties, but mostly I stay up near Maine, near the White Mountain National Forest. I like it up
Oh,
there.
yes. So why you came here? I mean, I know why you came here, but who sent you here? What's your mission? I mean, I'm just a freelance investigator, I'm a man of my own.
She smiles and says, oh, not any huge reason in particular. I was just in California for a couple months and saw that news story come out in the tabloid about the tree. making what meat critters and all, and figured I wanted to come see it myself. No blockade can survive the might of a helicopter. After all, I just fly right over them. And
So
yeah, just
So
want to know what's
what
going
can-
on. Just interests me is all.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so how many time how long have you been here?
I would like the research move with empathy, please.
Oh, let's see. I have 2 in empathy, right?
I think so. You have 1 in empathy.
1 in empathy. Okay. I had 2 in physicality, right? Yeah. 1 in empathy. Okay. 11.
Ooh, nice. We'll go ahead and give you that now, and we'll probably take a break here in a moment and then head to the testing phase. She looks you over and says, "Oh, I have a remind me again. What was your question? You just said it, but I immediately forgot because I'm a genius."
Oh, okay. No. So what's how um how many long what drove you here? I told you. So
That's
where
right.
are you
Why?
staying?
Why
Where
does
are
she
you staying?
wanna?
Yeah. Why you want to talk to me? You know.
She smiles and says, "Well, I don't necessarily want to get too chummy with all those details. I did just meet you after all. Don't want to be giving a stranger my home address or anything. You know how it is, I'm sure. But I will say that there is a hotel that is typically of a fairly good standing around here, sort of a 3-star type of deal. And I tried to check into that here last couple of days, but the front lobby was covered in gristle.
Whoa. So
Yeah.
you think we should go there, both of us?
Oh, I certainly do not want to go back there. It smelled mighty bad. You're more than welcome to if you want, but I imagine they probably
Maybe.
had a cleaning crew come by now.
Oh, okay. So what can I be you of service?
Oh, I just wanted to know just get to know you a little bit. We're going to be sort of making the rounds around here, as it were. I never got your name.
Lafayette.
It's a pleasure to meet you. You can call me Miriam if you wish.
Okay. Where are you staying?
Oh, I'm staying at one of the other 3-star hotels, one that didn't have crystal in the lobby.
Oh, which one?
Almost. She winks and says, "I'm sure I'll catch you around, Officer Lafayette." And she starts walking away. Uh, General Gilbert Burns and Superintendent Jarvis. You've been walking for a while now down the travel. And this is something that we're going to do another paint the scene question here
Oh no.
to showcase time passing as you've been traveling down this. Let me pull that one up. This one fits perfectly with what we've already been doing, even. Wow, genius. This is great. Both of your stomachs rumble, but after a few moments, you feel inexplicably satiated. What did the womb feed you?
My stomach feels like the way that it feels um, after eating some extremely delicious Thai food, and I like it spicy. you know, and I know the Thais like it spicy, and so I can't eat it as spicy as the Thais do, but I do love a good Thai food, the way it kind of sits in your gut and kind of you can feel it there warming you up and everything. So I feel like I've just had a 4-course meal with you've got some pad thai and some dim sum and just lots of delicious, very spicy Thai food.
It's very interesting. It tries to mimic sort of a delicious meal, but I know what it is. I know what it truly is. It is meat. Ow. I haven't had this meat in ages. It seems as though that burgers and hot dogs aren't the only things that are ending up down in this womb. People as well. But we'll keep it at that.
Excellent. And let's go ahead and take another 5-minute break, and we'll go ahead and go to the. Actually, let's do the break phase first. Then we'll take a break ourselves, and then do the testing phase. It's coming up. I do believe we actually have some moves that are resolved during the break phase now. Specifically, we have the research and development move for Dr. Cerulean, if you would like to use that.
Let me take a little peeps here and see what clues we have. And
it doesn't have to be an unused clue either. It can be one that you've already used.
Okay, that changes things.
Yeah, because it doesn't say an unused clue, just a clue.
Oh, all right.
Let me read that out as well for the people who are listening. In research and development says, in addition to leading research initiatives in Site 42, your team has been charged with the development of tools for Sun personnel to use in order to combat anomalous effects. Once per break phase, you may use a clue from an active investigation in order to create a piece of equipment designed to utilize, counteract, or intensify an anomalous effect. Describe the item and what it does, narrate a short scene in which your team creates the item. Each department head, including yourself, adds it to their office.
Oh boy. Okay. I definitely want to use it. I kind of have to think about it though.
No worries.
Cool.
We can come back to it when we come back from our break. I think that's the only break phase move that we have currently.
In the break phase, I think I had we make the agents discover my
That's
past.
going to be in the clock out phase.
Clock out phase, right? Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
I imagine you're probably not going to look at a case file tonight since you have a bunch of things that you need to get done, and you can't do that while doing a case file. But you can if you want to. We've already answered all the questions, so we don't need to go to there. And we do have some paperwork prompts still. I believe that Officer Lafayette still has to do sow and reap, whereas everyone else still has reap. We can do those now.
As well.
That's right. You have more paperwork. So much paperwork. Wow, it's really piling on. So go ahead and think about those, and we'll get to them at when we come back from our break. Spend some time thinking about your prompts there. And I'm gonna go ahead and choose the next paint the scene prompt here in the Sun tab. Let's do the DeGoya County Mandela Bacterium Ranch. There is a large ranch in DeGoya County, New Mexico called Alamand Maraticub Ranch. On the outside, it seems like a simple livestock ranch dealing largely in cattle. In reality, these cattle are harboring millions of Mandela bacterium within them. Jonathan Silversteel is a young farmhand on the ranch and is preparing for his shift. What precautions does Johnny take in order to not forget his job?
I think there is a TV and VCR in his room that always seems to get power no matter what. And when he wakes up every morning, there is a sticky note on the TV that says press play on the VCR.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Just because the Mandela bacterium removes concrete like frontal lobe memories, like the more recursive, more primal memories are remembered by the body. So by eating the same food every day, at the same times, keeping a very tight schedule, the body can go through the motions, even though he really doesn't understand why he's doing it. He just does it.
There's a big guy with a southern accent, sorry, which it appears when some people go to investigate that each morning he says, "Wake up, boy." He doesn't know if he's real or not. He's a big guy, and many people know him. Many people who investigate the public access TV mystery, there's a guy who always wakes him up, my boy, he says.
On one of the cows, the spots are arranged in a QR code. When you scan this QR code, you are taken to a psychic driving image made specifically for Jonathan Silversteel. If anyone else scans it and sees it, it just looks like a random image. It doesn't look like anything. But in particular, this one induces a feeling of panic unless they have watched the VCR, the TV and VCR thing today. So if they haven't watched it, they feel panic until they do. And if they have, then they see it and they're like, oh, it's fine.
Love that. All right. So what are we all going to be doing during this upcoming testing phase?
I just got me a new sample.
There are 2 investigations that can be resolved here. They can only be resolved during the testing phase.
Oh, all right. So maybe my sample will have to wait.
God, I don't know which one I want to help resolve. Either Meat Parade is just very funny about leading these creatures underground, and then until like the daughter is ready to be born, or the Red Thumb, because I love Director Star.
I think I spent the most time on Red Thumb, so I think I'll probably focus on that one.
So I think I would like to go to the hotel where this lady told me.
All right. Sounds good.
So Burns and Jarvis are still deep in the womb, right?
You can be if you want to be. Sounds like General Gilbert Burns is going to be helping out with Red Thumb during the testing phase. But you can keep exploring the womb on your lonesome. That sounds like a very fun idea.
I mean, it's no. Exploring the womb on your lonesome has its place, but it's not as fun as exploring it with a friend.
A friend.
A friend. I think I am gonna keep exploring the womb and attempt to communicate more directly with the mother while deep inside.
Indeed. So the meat parade is not going to be resolved tonight, then. Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh.
Oh God. Okay. I'll go help out and resolve the meat parade.
All right. This tracks. This makes sense. All right. Let's go ahead and take another 5. Think about your responses to the sow and reap incident reports. For those of you who still need to do it, I'll post them again in the chat so that they're easier to find. And we'll be back here shortly with the testing phase. All right. We're going to start going into the testing phase now. Does anyone have their next incident report readings ready? If you do, you may read out your responses now, or you may, say your responses. Otherwise, we'll get them at the end of the session.
I'm good for both of mine. All right, so I rated so let's do reap first. Dr. Cerulean's been nurturing and growing her little tumor friend in the meat terrarium. And it starts to get to a size where she's like, I need to rehome this. And so she converts one of her desk drawers into a habitat. She feeds it, her meat terrarium obviously grows meat, so she'll still feed it from the meat terrarium. However, she also hooks up one of the giant gerbil water bottles, but it is of course filled with sticky milk. And then I have narrative flashback to a procedure experimenter item developed by you by saved countless lives. So I think there was a containment breach on a particular bacterium that removed impulse control from anyone infected with it. And so the facility was in chaos, and Dr. Cerulean was under a lot of pressure and crunch time and developed a vaccine to suppress emotional synapses, but didn't have enough time to go through the proper means. So she tested it on herself first, and it was far too potent and basically removed her, not completely removed her emotional spectrum, but left it to this on the scale. it's to now. And then she fine-tuned it from that point and then released it on the infected to save them.
Nice. Officer Lafayette, did you want to do your so and or reap now, or did you want to wait until the end of the session?
No, I do it now. No problem. So each department head narrates a flashback of physical. Okay, so we are in tons. Well, we open the scope and it's like in gray, and we see a young Lafayette sleeping with Jennifer, and everything is black and white, but he hears a whisper, and he says, "Daddy, Daddy," and he wakes up, and although everything is black and white, he sees the silhouette of Sandy flashing in full color, and he says, "Who are you?" "Well, I'm your daughter. You will get to meet me in the near future." "What?" "What I'm telling you. We'll be seeing each other." And cut. And Lafayette, as he wakes up, he looks to his side. Everything's in color. Jennifer is by his side. And he says, "Oh, okay. It was about nightmare. Nothing else."
Lovely. Does anyone else have their responses that they would like to give, or shall we wait for those till the end of the session?
I can do my reap scene. This scene is a flashback and picks up immediately where So left off after a feverish night of leaking, infectious leaking. I think we'll say it culminates in a load of dry heaving until Arena Jarvis vomits up a cassette tape. And the cassette tape is marked ugly. Side 1 and side 2. Arena Jarvis has not listened to this tape, but it is at their house next to their cassette player.
Terrifying. Horrific, even. Lovely. Do we have anyone else who wants to give their reap responses, or shall we wait till the end of the session? All right.
I have a reap, if
Yeah.
it's okay.
Go for it.
So, okay. As you said, each department, sorry, just looking 1 minute. Can be maybe excess was planted. So it's in the present, and well, since he finished talking with the lady, Officer Lafayette is going back to his quarters. And when he enters, he sees something that doesn't know where it came. It's a VHS tape. It says Odyssey tapes. And it says The Sandy Show.
Love
That's-
that. All right. So let's go ahead and start off this testing phase here with the our two resolutions that are going on here. Let's start with the meat parade because I'm very interested in this. It's been out for a minute, so I'm excited to see how this one resolves. General Burns, are you? We haven't actually been to the fountain yet, but that is where all of the meat parades were like going towards. So I imagine that's probably where the daughter is being born, and it's where all the maps were pointing to as well.
Yes.
So I imagine we're probably at the fountain by now.
Mhm.
Just want to go ahead and read out that one and paint the scene for it here. There we go. La Bella Fontana di Napoli. It is a circular plaza of red brick with a fountain in the center. Both were once adorned with verdant green hedges and shrubbery, but are now surrounded by roots from A-1004. Let's paint the scene, everybody. The contents of this fountain certainly used to be water at some point, but it is clearly now something else. Describe this liquid.
Viscous.
Bloody red.
Sticky.
It smells delicious, though.
I gotta ask, what does it smell like specifically?
I'm trying to think of one of my favorite. Oh, freshly baked sourdough bread. Smells delicious.
Weird, but okay.
Gonna be honest, I thought it was gonna be hot dogs.
Yeah.
Okay. I considered hot dogs, but I decided not to.
Lovely. Awful, in fact. This is great. So you're here at the fountain, and I think that we can say that by now you've had the little tunnels dug out beneath. You can hear music very faintly coming from below your feet as they dance around underneath the ground here. And let's see. What is General Burns doing right now?
General Burns is trying to make sure all I think he has some walkie-talkie on him and it's telling members of his team to make sure to track down any loose stragglers of the meat parade, as well as coordinating efforts to funnel them all in and make sure we can just once they're all down there we just scoop them scoop it away. I think we see the scene with General Burns with sort of a clipboard marking off locations that we've been through, and just at his feet is a little his little pal, his little friend Dave the Meat Buddy, who despite it all doesn't seem to be very interested in the meat parade. So that's interesting. We're not going to talk about that, but yeah, that's what he's doing. He's fairly confident that we'll resolve this very easily, and there won't be any complications.
No, not at all. As you're looking around, you see someone sort of generally following the same line that the parades are going down under the ground, but obviously they're up top side on the surface. You see them dancing alongside, literally vertically above the meat parades. But you notice that they're dancing on bloody stumps where their feet should be.
Oh,
And after a few moments of this, they just collapse and stop moving.
okay. I'm going over there to assist and possibly resuscitate. Oh,
It's definitely going to be the latter. They are not breathing. And
okay.
there's like a trail of blood that goes very, very far back, as if they had been dancing on these stumps for a long, long time.
Oh no. That's not good.
What do you do?
Pretty much I'm trying to like stop the bleeding. Like I think it's just by the nature, like they probably have pants on or something. So like I'm ripping up their pants to like tie off the bloody stump and whatnot. Tourniquets and whatnot. It's very rarely that I get to interact with a person this badly wounded, considering the people on my team.
True.
But despite it all, I don't have any conditions, so like that's good.
I will say, I don't think that you'll be able to do much. If you were perhaps like the medical director, I would maybe be like, yeah, you could probably save this person's life. But without any extensive medical training and this being as much as it's already been, like as much blood loss and as far gone as it's been, you can probably feel that there's probably some infection going on in the stumps too. They're definitely too far gone for your own skills to be able to save at this point.
Okay.
However, you do feel, as you're looking over this person, a rumbling from the fountain behind you.
Oh.
Officer Lafayette and Dr. Cerulean. Or no, you're not both doing that. Never mind. Just Officer Lafayette. You're going to the gristle-filled hotel, right? When you get there, it has indeed been cleaned. So you don't see the lobby covered in gristle, as she had said. But you do see, standing inside here, not even standing, but rather you see a dog digging, like a stray dog. They're digging very rapidly at the sort of wooden paneling of the floors of this place. And eventually they start biting at it and ripping chunks of the floor off. Then it drops something inside that hole and puts the scraps of wood back over top it and walks away. What do you do?
Okay, so I unwrap the floor and see what the dog tapped.
It is a root, one of the roots from A-1004. One of the same that was growing under your bed.
Whoa. Is there anyone there? I mean, can I open can I talk to someone? Is there anyone there? Not.
It seems like this is more of an abandoned hotel. She might have been lying to you.
Oh. Okay. So where can I'm gonna
And it certainly doesn't look 3 stars.
so is there which is can I do a research move and wonder which is the hotel she might be?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll say so. One moment.
Oh.
Right about that. Yeah, I think that if you go around looking for her, eventually I think you'll just find her.
Okay.
She's not necessarily inconspicuous. and she is also looking into things much like you are. So she's just kind of walking around the general area of the
Okay.
investigation that you've been doing. Eventually, you do come across her, and she smiles and says, "Ah, Mr. Lafayette, nice to see you again."
Hi, bad girl. How you doing?
Well, I can't must say that is the first time I've been called that, but I'm doing all right. How about yourself, sir?
So you lied to me.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I would like the risk move with empathy here, please. What are you afraid will happen if you fail or lose your nerve?
She will tell me. She will have a clue of myself that I don't have, and it will make me literally crazy.
And I think I'm going to have you roll this at disadvantage as you start seeing very vague, like she has a very similar facial structure to Sandy, the girl that you've been seeing constantly.
Oh,
Not that she necessarily is, but she looks very similar to her.
okay. So with empathy,
Mhm.
with free dices, and the highest,
The lowest for disadvantage.
the lowest one. 8.
Ooh, nice. We'll cut back to this. Superintendent Arena Jarvis.
All right.
I think we can say that you've kept walking as General Burns went back to everything. So I'll go ahead and give you the next location here as you exit out of the travel. This is called the Junction. There is a. Oh, this is one of my favorites. It's so bad. It's so fucking gross. I love this. All right. A sphincter periodically flexes at the end of the travel. There is a slight wet smacking sound coming from it as it does. As the womb quivers, and sometimes of its own accord, the sphincter opens up for a few moments, opening into a small connecting tunnel padded with soft flesh and an identical sphincter on the opposing side. Let's make the scene, everyone. Or actually, no, this one is just for Jarvis.
All right.
The junction dilates as you enter it, and the humidity in the air increases. How do you feel?
I think Jarvis's I think my desires are extremely amplified. I think that the deeper in we get, the more the more powerfully we have to project our desires, and the more amplified they get. And you know, and I had to keep going because I need to be I gotta talk to this thing, and Burns was needed elsewhere, and it's just we just got to do this thing. We just got to do this thing. Sometimes you got to split up to do the thing. It's fine. I'm not lonely. I'm not lonely or heartbroken. Like that would be ridiculous.
Excellent. I think almost as if sensing your loneliness, as that is what it does after all, this anomaly, you feel, or rather, looking behind you, you see the amniotic fluid in the travel start sinking down and flowing sort of toward the center. And eventually, you hear what sounds like the revving of a chainsaw.
Oh god damn it.
There is something behind you in the travel now. But you can't also keep going forward through the junction. What do you do?
Well, so it's behind me. It's gonna chase me deeper in. Is that's the vibe here?
Maybe. It's unclear of whether or not it knows you're there yet.
then I'm gonna keep moving, and I'm gonna move as slowly and carefully as I can. It's just one. One ain't a crowd. One ain't a crowd right now.
True enough. Let's have the fright move here with, I think, so it's going to be with anomalous since it's the fright move. But if you want, you can roll with physicality -1 instead, which you probably should because that would be a -2. Holy shit.
That would be real bad. That would be a real bad decision. All right.
And I think I'm going to give you disadvantage here as you keep thinking about how, what if General Burns didn't get called away? What if they were just not enjoying the date?
Oh. Well, I'm gonna cancel out that. I'm gonna cancel out that disadvantage because I have the unplugged radio that still picks up signal, still with me, and I can just contact them. And I'm just gonna get on the horn real quick and just be like, hey, just want to let y'all know I'm being real sneaky, getting deep in the womb. But I wanted to just real quick update everyone on the progress and General Burns, if you could check in on the secure channel, that'd be fantastic. I know we don't have a secure channel. That means everybody else fuck off the radio, okay? God damn.
You can go ahead and roll it flat now.
Okay, here we go. Oh, that's an 8.
Ooh.
It could be worse.
It could be. General Burns. Wait, do we have... I did cut to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right,
Yeah.
Aaron? No?
Wait, no.
Nope. Fucking hell.
We got too excited.
Too excited. Too much
There's
excitement
too
going
much horny going on.
I know.
Everyone's flirting with everyone. It's just how it is.
Listen, you've got competition in the form of a chainsaw mouth, and I just wanted to make sure you knew you were high up priorities.
Excellent. All right. So you are, what are you doing right now to get this cure ready?
So I have an idea because I still have my break phase move I need to define. So I'm gonna take the clue about the spider ponies that don't get along and kill each other. So I think the doctor is going to she does love her aerosol. So probably an aerosol can that synthesizes whatever it is that makes the spider ponies rage out and murder each other. And the plan here is to dose anyone that's been infected by A-1004, so that instead of wanting to nurture these roots growing, they want to destroy and remove them as if they were weeds.
Oh. Very interesting.
Everyone does get that, though, piece of equipment for their...
Yeah. Rage canister.
Rage canister sounds good.
So everyone can put a rage canister in their office. Neat. All right. It sounds like that'll be the containment procedure, really, is treating people with the rage.
Yeah.
Well done with that. That's a nice use of the move to tie in with the everything. I love that. All right. Are you starting with Site Director Star?
Yeah, I think we have to. We have to.
I think I want to paint the scene here.
Oh no.
How is Site Director Star being restrained for this procedure?
Is this just for me or is this for everyone?
Oh, this is for everyone.
Oh, thank fuck.
I mean, you're giving a fucking huge, like 7-foot tall man a can of rage. You gotta have it so that he won't just squish your skull. You know?
Yeah.
I'm taking this from you earlier, Steph, as you mentioned that Director Star has a special little outfits, a yellow striped medical like sort of gown, uh, uh, just keep on theme, keeping stylish and whatnot. I think like just in general, a lot of Director Star's personal belongings that could in fact be used as weapons if pressed, such as his clogs have been safely stored away elsewhere, probably like a couple rooms away, just in case like he does shenanigans such as I don't know, people have abilities of like just having things nearby. So like we don't know entirely what Director Star's abilities are, and that's kind of a little scary.
So when Dr. Imogen Cerulean enters the office of the Star, he sees him, and his hand is not anymore his hand. His hand is made of wood. And he's what's happening to me? He's turning into like leaves, forest, trees, and everything you can imagine.
The infection is restraining him. That's a good fucking take.
This is a callback to one of our star clues because I think it's funny. I think during the procedure we have a promotional like travel video for sunny Atlantis playing to calm him.
Remind him of his vacation to Atlantis.
Yes.
And just to top it all off, I think we got some yellow bungee cords.
This makes perfect sense, yes. All right. I think so. You're not going to have to make a roll here since you did get a 10 plus on the answer question. But I do want to know how you go about administering this and what it looks like once it starts taking effect.
Okay, so I think since we have him in a contained, I don't need to just like mace him basically. So we probably use like the laughing gas device thing that just goes over and just slowly introduce it into his system. And I think given he started to transform, once it starts to take hold, the I think rather than like him trying to remove the stuff from himself, it like is aggressively ripping itself free of his body. Like his hand is trying to leave, the roots that grow out of his feet are ripping out, and just like deliberately pulling themselves out.
Excellent. And we've not got much time left, so I think we'll go to Stars and Wishes and we'll finish up the testing phase in the next session here. I can start. I really had a great time this week. I missed playing last week. I had, some tummy troubles of my own, so I wasn't able to really run, but I'm glad that I was able to make it this week. I really love playing this game with y'all. That's just a general star. For chaotic, that fucking reveal, holy shit. that makes me especially happy because now there's like effectively what you've done is put a second Burns out in the world for me to fuck around with. And I love that for me. So thank you, Star, for that.
It's unclear whether or not like this General Burns has committed identity fraud and just took over the original Burns' life. So like that's real fun.
Yeah, it's a good time. I'm excited to explore that thread a little bit. For Aaron, I really liked the fucking real creative problem solving of, yeah, I'm going to just kind of stand over here and let it come to me and fall in a hole. Like, I wouldn't have expected that ever, but it makes so much sense. Yeah, that was a really great way to deal with that. Especially like, yeah, it goes in head first. That way I don't see the thing that makes me want to go get eaten. Because I was definitely going to be like, all right, now you have to try to not fall into the open mouth hole. So good job on that. I really love your creative solutions to all these different problems. It really showcases just how fucking out there Dr. Cerulean's like train of thought always is. I love seeing that, and I'm excited to see some more of Harvey and the think tank and all of that. Just everything going on with that is very interesting to me. So I'm excited to see that come up a little bit more, as well as people use their rage canisters. That was also a highlight for me, was seeing that move in use. It hasn't been used yet before in this playtest, or even in the one very small playtest that I ran that did actually, it was available. The lead researcher and the security enforcer were the only playbooks that I had at that time. So I'm excited to see it get used and to such incredible effect at that. For Marty, I love how much deeper we got into Lafayette's story in this session. There are a lot of different ideas now floating around in my head for what happens when those 3 boxes on your project tick down. I have so many different ideas, and they're all good. And I can't wait to keep narrowing them down as more stuff gets revealed. So that's also like kind of a wish, is that I'm just excited to see how that all culminates. For Kyle, I fucking love Superintendent Jarvis immediately picking up on like, oh, this thing's getting a little excited when I go in it, huh? Like, yeah, Jarvis would pick up on that immediately. I love that the womb has just become like their investigation. This is their Jarvis is the womb domain.
That's what they told me in high school.
Why do you think I have 3 divorces? Can't keep me away from my domain for too long. Yeah, I'm really excited to see where, like, how much deeper you get into that, because you also may have noticed that I didn't unlock a new question after we answered that last one. You simply can't solve the mystery yet, the investigation yet, which I'm very excited to get that question on the board, which you're heading steadily toward. Don't worry.
Okay.
You're on pace. You're on track. There's just a couple more things you got to see before it's opened up, and I'm excited to see that.
Before it's dilated, even.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, it's already dilated. Yeah, no, I just incredible session, everyone. Thank you all so much for playing my game. Once again, it astounds me how great this has been. Yeah.
I can go. All right. So for Steph, I kind of knew it was coming when we described the new part of the womb, but then you're just like sphincter, and I was like, oh, here we go. The whole sphincter scene was just a delightful description of what poor Jarvis was. I shouldn't say poor Jarvis. Jarvis is there for it. For chaotic, I mean the entire womb scene with you and Jarvis was just wonderful, especially the the eating thing was just a high point. I was so funny. For Marty, I really loved your solution for Meat Parade. I was staring at those clues like for the past 2 weeks and been like, got fucking nothing. So kudos, kudos putting that mess together. For Jarvis, there was so much to star you for tonight, today, whatever time of day it is. I don't know. But there's just one moment I want to highlight when Steph told you that General Burns left not because they had other stuff to do, but because the date went badly. You made this noise. You made this very quiet noise, and it was just like it sent me. It completely sent me.
I said maybe. It's unclear.
As
I
for
can-
wishes, fuck, I don't know. I had so much fun. It's hard to have a wish when you have like a really great, just yeah, I more of the same. I don't know if we can top the horniness of this session. I think that's a high bar. It's a very high bar now.
Well, we gotta top it sometime because we've got way too much buildup, and I need some release, y'all. I don't know what came over me. I'm sorry about that.
No, well, I can go. So, start for Steph because also for creating the game, but I think that for having such a amount of freedom to engage with your characters, you know, this area, this big gray area where you can put in your sandbox and maybe the other player will took something from that and I will take and that's great, you know, and that's it's like a big it's like the writer's room in its full completion, you know. So it's like for me it's like the greatest session that I've had in a long time, you know. And well, so I love the scene between General Burns and Superintendent Arena Jarvis because it's like it's this innocent and creepy scene at the same time, you know. It's they hold hands, but he asks him that they ask him if he's gonna eat him. I mean, it's all like it's I don't know if it's like a horror scene or we're seeing melody. So it's like great and also the flashback. It was of Gerald Gilbert Burns and well, Arena Jarvis is I'm always laughing, but and I always and I love for Erin the way she plays Imogen because so in her set, in her mind, doing the things that so logical, you know, proving logical over everything else, you know, proving to be logical over, and it's great. I mean, it's a great way of playing. I mean, because it constantly reinforces the character, you know. So anything, great session starts to all of you because it's a great session.
Yeah, I gotta give a star to Marty for just really handling a lot of the theorizing like this session because like I think with a few of the questions like it was a little bit like unclear as to like how to like we may have answers to the question, but it was unclear like how we would pursue the opportunities in terms of resolution, and that I'm very grateful for. As well as just Officer Lafayette is an investigator by heart, so like even when he like has like the opportunity to resolve things, he still wants more information. He still has to get to the bottom of it because like there's things that have not been answered yet. And like I find that a very fascinating characterization, and as well as just like your flashbacks because like I'm like, oh, it raises questions of like, is Sandy an anomaly? Like, is this like how Officer Lafayette is in this genre? Because like he's been almost pseudo tormented by this entity who we're not sure if it's actually is his daughter or not. Like I'm so invested and I'm so scared when that track gets filled. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, me too. Me too.
yeah, yeah. Dr. Cerulean, we love like just the phrase of just a face full of manhole that just got me like like oh my god. And Superintendent Jarvis, I really want to see like where our relationship goes into next. Like so far, majority of our conversations have been in the womb PPE. So like I want to like have a conversation outside of that where we could actually I don't know hold hands for realsies. So, and possibly talk about things because like I think General Burns is still like unclear of like okay so this is obviously a very horny thing, but does this involve in actually eating you, or is it just some sort of pun of like eating of the flesh? What does this mean? He's gonna talk to somebody about it, and it might as well be you. But it would be funny if it's like anyone else in like the organization.
Oh my gosh.
So the resolution of the walkie-talkie and the intercommunicator was incredible. Also, I just wanted to. It was great.
I have to give everyone stars for for putting up with and yes anding all of my horny antics for my sad horny character, especially General Burns. It is always a delight to have a scene with you, mainly because you ride the line of innocent and terrifying so very very perfectly. The fact that you might be like a tulpa or like an imaginary friend made manifest is absolutely terrifying and so good, like absolutely so good. Marty, I have to echo the like the theories and answering the investigations and everything. So good. I always love hearing like your take, as well as I loved your scene with the oh gosh, what was her name? Marion?
Miriam.
Miriam. I loved your scene with Miriam. I love the follow-up where you're just like, you lied to me. And like I love how direct Lafayette is. Lafayette does not beat around the bush. Lafayette goes straight into the bush and like and tears it up and is just like, I am going to find what is buried here. Do stop hiding it from me. I love it so much. Steph, also Miriam, so good. I really liked Miriam as a character. I want to. That's what my wish for you is. I want to see more Miriam. But yeah, and Aaron, your Dr. Cerulean is always just so delightful. Just like it is a special kind of scientist that solves their problems with face down, booty up, you know? And I think that your commitment to that being that kind of scientist makes our organization so strong. But no, it's honestly, everyone has been bringing their A game. Everyone has been so funny and so scary at the same time. Like that is one of the strengths of this. I think that it's so like scary and gross, and our characters are like morally kind of gray and almost certainly bad people, but also they're a little pathetic and sad, and it's just, I don't know, it's so good. And with that like backdrop of like horrors beyond imagination that mankind was not meant to understand, like, oh gosh, it's so good. I really missed last week as well, and I have been so glad to be able to play today. So my wish is again more of the same, because everyone has been just so fantastic. This has been so much fun.
All right. Thank you so very much. With that, I think that brings a conclusion to our session today. Thank you all so very, very much for joining me and for playing as always. And I will see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.